Hi guys, welcome to our webinar on 5 big buying mistakes that you can avoid while shopping for an RV. My name is Tim Richardson. While people are getting loaded in here, go ahead and find the chat area. There's a little, it's like a cartoon speech bubble kind of thing over there on the side. Click on that and then type in the city that you're watching from or logging in from. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of our guests here. We've got quite a few actually. Experts that are going to help us answer your questions and get a lot of good tips for us today. So thanks for joining us. Zach, good to see you. Dwayne, hello. Shout out to David. Ernie, hello. And we've got William, Kenny, Steve Long from Lady Lake, Florida. Must be nice to be down there. Leroy in Texas. We're at RV Wholesalers up in Ohio, but obviously, we have RVs going out all over the country. But Carol, good to see you from California. Jim in Cincinnati, nice, close to home. Houston, Gary, we have a place down in Dodge City, Texas, that's opening up. So thanks for joining us from Texas. Kenneth out in Louisville. You guys are all probably here for the same reason, getting ready to jump into a new venture. Maybe this is your first RV. Maybe this is your second one. Hopefully you didn't get burned too bad on your first one, but that's what we're here. We want to help you out. I want to introduce Dustin Bray. He's on the left here. Dustin,
nice to see you.
Thanks for joining us. Solomon Richard. It's you.
Glad to be here.
These guys are going to be helping us on the chat. They're going to be answering some of the questions that pop in that we can't get to. And then some of our other experts are out there in the sales room, and they're so busy, like, They just gave us a little bit of time, so we're going to cut to them and then come back. So they're going to give us some different nuggets that we can learn from, and I think we've got some really good stuff that will save you a lot of money. I know camping is, it's for our family. We just started going to an RV park for the first time this year, so this has been an exciting time with COVID and all that stuff, being all cooped up and just being able to get out and have fun and sit around a campfire with friends and family. And we've had a blast. So actually Solomon is my son. So we took a big XLR out about 3 weeks ago and had some Halloween family fun. We had a couple hundred families at a campground and good times. So whether you guys are thinking about taking your new family into camping, or maybe you're retired and wanted to head out west. I know my in-laws just last year, they took their Yukon and a trailer and a Harley and went out and got to see the Smokies and got to go out to the Rockies and then up and see Mount Rushmore. And it's a great thing you can do. So RVing is definitely the way to go these days, Sure beats flying. I had to get on a plane not too long ago, and I was kind of surprised that even though people were wearing masks, like we were 3 people in the seats, so it was crazy. So definitely a way to go. So let's not spend any more time. I want to get to the first area of big mistakes that you can make while shopping for an RV. And the first one I want to talk about is not knowing what the bottom out the door price is going to be. So you don't want surprises when you get to the end of your signing the paperwork. And so we're going to cut over to Josh Durnell. This guy's grown up around RVs here. His dad helped found the place. And speaking of the founders, they were school teachers and just fell in love with camping and helping people. And so that's kind of the purpose behind the webinars is, well, they asked us, like, why can you guys just educate these people so that they're not getting burned? Obviously, RV wholesalers can't sell 500, 600,000 RVs that will be sold this year, so just a few thousand, but they want to be able to help you make good decisions and find and hold people accountable and make sure people are being honest that you're working with in this area. So Josh, let's see if I can bring you guys in. Hopefully the technology's all working today. So let's see if we...
Yeah, guys.
All right,
Thanks
Josh,
for
can you
having
talk
me.
about hidden fees?
Just going to get right into it here. A lot of folks
Hello,
that are
Josh,
tuning
I
in,
can
you
see
might
you.
have noticed in the closing room.
Yeah,
here,
guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Drastically
just going to get right into it here. A lot of folks that are tuning in, you might.
For those that have not yet gotten to that point, basically, want to know what type of hidden fees there are in the RV industry, what to expect, what to look out for. I'm going to try to explain all that to you. So, first and foremost, to explain what a hidden fee is, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. So all of the quality RVs, okay, let's take like Rockwood, for example, these are all made in Indiana. It's to keep price costs down. You should see, if you guys ever get the chance and you're traveling by, you got to stop at the plant that your RV was made. It's insane to see, but that's not what we're talking about. So, but all of the RVs that we sell, that anyone from Colorado to the right of the United States are going to be buying, will be coming from Indiana. So, a lot of times, okay, as you're surfing online, maybe you're an RV trader or you get a couple quotes here, you might notice, wow, this guy's $10,000 cheaper than this guy, or vice versa, And again, the further away you get from Indiana, the more expensive the RVs typically are. But every now and then, I see something very deceptive, and my customers bring this to my attention. I'll just tell you the story of a guy from Texas real quick. He gave me a call. I'm $2,000 ahead of his price that he received locally. And I said, well, sir, that would happen to be impossible unless there's three things. Okay, so one, the unit is a year older than what mine is. Two, if it had less options than mine did, or three, if that dealership is lying to you. Okay, now I'm not here to point fingers or anything, but again, I will let that customer know, or I did, it is physically impossible for a dealer that is almost 2,000 miles south from me can sell a trailer cheaper than me. It's physically not possible. So long story short, he did some digging. After he took that dealer's word for it and went in there to the closing room, things changed very drastically. A couple things, and the reason I found out about these obviously is I told him, I said, one, I would love to have that purchase agreement, and two, I'd love to earn your business and do it correctly by honoring the price in which I told you, not having any funny business, and I'm not here to name any names. We just want you to be informed of what you might see. So first and foremost, that dealership had a freight fee. Okay, what the freight fee is the cost of getting the unit from Indiana, which it was manufactured, to the dealership in which it will be sold. Now, every dealership out there has this, okay? Especially in Florida, especially in Georgia, especially in Louisiana, especially in Colorado. The further away you get, the more expensive it's going to be, guys, because I'm sure you've all been passed on the highway with a semi hauling 10 cars. There's no such thing as an RV or hauler. You have to haul each individual one there. Therefore, it's a lot of money. So this gentleman's freight fee alone, just to get this unit to him in Texas, was almost $3,000. Almost, it was like $2,850, right? Well, then they tried to pull a couple other things. They tried to hit him with what was known as an environmental coating. Now, this is only found in some boat dealerships because a brand new boat has to go into a body of water with living organisms. Again, that's even rare. That's more like a sea type of, salt life type of thing. Nothing that you would find locally to a lake. But they tried to charge them $1,500 to do this, right? And you guys are never going to get this. Regular dock and title fee, tried to charge them to clean it, tried to charge them to prep it. Now those two I got to talk about real quick too. Yes, the RVs are going to be, full of sawdust and styrofoam by the time they get to the dealerships. The dealership, now
those two I got to talk about real quick too. Yes, the RVs are going to
brand new product by the time you come get it, right? But the prep, the PDI fee, guys, that is a huge red flag. Okay, any dealership and one that's, I'm sure we all know about them. They have over 100 locations, okay? These fees are how they have over 100 locations, by getting every single dollar out of their customers' pockets as possible during the sale. So the prep fee, to go over that real quick, every unit that is done being manufactured from the factory, as it gets to its dealer's lot, they should be prepped. Everything should be turned on, used for at least an hour, 30 minutes at the least, air conditioners, furnace, run water through everything, test all the outlets. Everything inside that coach should be tested. That is to ensure that it is a working and full perfect order by the time you receive it. And also, if we find anything wrong, okay, let's say that this air conditioner is faulty, Forest River or whatever the manufacturer's product is going to pay me to swap that component. They're actually going to pay me to do what they missed to do. Guys, between you and I, we've made over $3,000 on one trailer before, just with little cosmetic things that we found. And again, they pay us for our time to do that. So if I charge my customer that money, let's say like this gentleman in Texas, it was almost $1,500 because it was a fifth wheel trailer. If I charge you $1,500, one, does that really motivate me to prep your trailer and make sure that nothing's wrong with it? Some dealers may still do that, some may not. But two, how much money did they make from the factory from all these things that were wrong, and why are you being charged for it? It's something that it should be done before the deal is done and over with. It should not be something you're charged for at all. And then last one, guys, this is one that I've only heard in this one case, but I mean, it was a very large dealership, so I can only imagine how many people have been subject to this. A tire fee, okay? Now, I'm still talking about the dealership in Texas now, okay? They tried to charge this customer, and I say my customer because he allowed me to earn his business after all of this nonsense he went through. They tried to charge him $899 for a tire fee, okay? And when he asked about this, he literally was told by their finance manager, oh, by the time it gets to us in Texas from Indiana, the tires
he asked about this. He literally was told by...
And that in itself is why you need to be educated before you go through this. So many people are subject to this stuff every day. They don't even know that they're not supposed to be. So, and that's the purpose of these webinars, guys. And I think each and every one of you tuning in, we know we can't sell every trailer out there. We know we can't earn everyone's business, but we do not want the dishonest and the price gouging dealerships to be any more successful than what they have to be, because it's just not right. It's unnecessary, right? So again, long story short, thanks for tuning in. We're very interested in seeing, or if anyone else out there has seen anything else we've not mentioned, or maybe, if you're willing to share your stories and stuff, guys, we love educating customers. We love being, the forefront of people that are a little bit different. So long story short, please share in the comments or in an email link or something if you have any similar stories that we can help save potential customers and other people looking for an RV.
Share in the comments.
But, I won't take up any more time. Thanks so much for having me, and God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Hopefully there's not too many of those stories yet. That's what we're here for, to help you guys present the stories. But if you have one of those and you want to share it, just drop it in the chat like you were saying. That'll be good. Really curious. Well, before I do that, there's been some questions like, are we going to have a replay of this? So if you have any technical issues or connection-wise, don't worry about it. We'll have an email that will come out to you in about 2 hours after the event. So we'll send that over to you and you can replay it. And then even better yet, we'll post this up on our YouTube channel. So if you just go to RV Wholesalers, type that into YouTube, and the YouTube channel will come up. Just hit subscribe. And then videos like these training webinars will be up there, and they'll let you know when those come up. So that's another way, and you can bounce through the video a little easier too on YouTube. So we'll be getting that posted up there today. So Dustin, I was wondering, we have a question in here about let's see who it was, about buying, doing trade-ins basically. So okay. Just kind of wanted to get your take on trade-ins. Yeah, Christine was talking about it.
Okay, so I'm happy to answer that. Anybody who's ever done a trade-in on an automobile knows that pretty much when you go to do a trade-in, you're not going to get out of it what it's probably worth if you sell it independently. Now, that's even more true for us this year because of the market for used RVs. So because the market's so good, what I would tell most customers is go sell it independently, whether it's through RV Trader, Facebook Marketplace, eBay. There are a boatload of options and a boatload of avenues for you to sell that, but get the most money you can out of it. Another thing that I want to want to make people realize is that we are a wholesaler, and even on our used goods, we want to be the lowest price we can be. And to do that, we have to buy at the lowest price possible. And I don't want our customers feeling like they're getting less of a value from us because of that. They have to understand that value is then passed on to the next customer. We're not trying to make a lot of money on them. We're trying to make enough so it's profitable to do it. So really the key there is that I would still recommend you, even if the market wasn't like it was, to sell it yourself. Get every dime you can get out of it.
How do you figure out pricing on used RVs? Is there a book or something?
Yeah, so the NADA guide is the best place to go. It's going to give you, you're just going to hunt down your year, your model, and your make, and it's going to give you your book pricing for that model. And I typically tell people, get that book value out of it. That's going to be even more than you would get on a trade-in for it. So if you get that book value out of it, you're winning in that case.
Yeah, I'll put up, I'm going to put up your contact information because I know that sometimes the NADA online, that varies from the actual big book that your dealers, the dealership here has access to. So they can reach out to you and Solomon and folks. Let me put up
Absolutely.
that. Let's see, here we go. So here's the phone number, 877-877-4494. Either of these guys, D. Bray at RV Wholesalers or S. Richardson at RVWholesalers.com. Shoot them an email if you want to get values figured out on what you should sell your RV for. So they can help you with that if that's a need. So very good. Let's see. Look at some more questions here.
Seen a few questions about the Class Cs and then also the diesel versus gas.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on the Class Cs, they're pretty similar. It really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're going to be living in your motorhome full time, a diesel engine is going to last you a little bit longer. But if you're not, say you're only traveling a few thousand miles a year in it, a gasoline is going to be just as good. The fuel's going to be a little cheaper, and the power on those is still really comparable. So you're getting. Most of them are really high-end Fords. They're going to be an F350 or F450 chassis with a nice Cummins engine. So you're getting a serious truck with it as well. You're not, it's not any less value than a diesel. It's just going to be a diesel is just going to last you a little bit longer if you're using it really heavily.
And to add in there really quick, I think there's an underrated aspect of owning gas versus diesel that especially our first-time owners don't consider, and that is the expense or difficulty of finding a diesel mechanic in their area. It's relatively easy to find somebody that can work on your gas motor, but a diesel mechanic has to be specially certified, specially licensed. There are people that will definitely need and would qualify for needing a diesel, and for a lot of cases, especially new RV owners, the gas is probably going to be the way to go. It'll have more opportunities, more options as far as taking care of it themselves. They won't have to go out of their way to try to get service on it. But either way, because of our service network, will be there to help provide that service if they needed it.
Yeah, we'll dive into that. Good point there a little bit later. So thanks. And I was kind of surprised too when I first took out a Class C to a campground. It was back in June, and it was pretty cool. Like I always see people ask them, like, how hard is it to drive it? Do you have to have a commercial license? You don't. It's a recreational vehicle, so you don't have to have a commercial license. And it really was a lot easier than I thought. I went to put on the turn signal to make a nice sharp turn. And you have to be careful. Obviously, you have a big body that you're turning around the corner. But a little side camera came on and a screen right there. I mean, it was really pretty simple and I felt very comfortable my first time driving it. Like, it was not nearly as challenging as I had expected. So I know that if you're thinking about that, don't be too scared of that. It's really simple. And I know you guys, when people come to pick up, you do walkthroughs. You make sure they're very comfortable with backing it up with the trailer or hooking up if it's a fifth wheel or driving it and all the parts that go into that. So very cool. So so there's something this next I want to talk to Dallas because he's in our sales and finance, and he's been around here for at least 10 years. And this guy has seen it all. It probably helped finance tens of thousands of RVs. So I want to go over to him because he's got something that is, you got to listen to this because this will definitely save you money. And it's not just for RVs too. So let me see if I can get him connected in here. So let's see here. All right. Hopefully this is working. Dallas.
Hey guys, how you doing? Dallas here. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the big secret a lot of people don't know when you go to finance an RV.
Hey guys, how you doing?
This can be applied to many other different areas, but certainly with RVs. So the big thing is the dealer gets money when you finance through them. That's something we tell all of our customers. Not every dealership does, but that's very important information when you want to go buy a recreational vehicle. You can take that when you want to go buy a car as well. Biggest thing to remember is that dealer's getting some kickback. A lot of people they call it kickback, they call it dealer reserve, dealer participation. There's a lot of different things that they can call it. But ultimately, what you need to know is that dealer's getting some money when you finance through that dealership. So again, if you go do a credit application with an RV dealer, they are getting paid. Okay, so just understand that. I love helping customers out that come in and kind of understand these things. It's very easy to work with customers that have been doing this for a little while. But I do enjoy loving helping people with their finances, kind of explaining them how you structure this thing, how you get the best deal on the finance side, on the front side with the camper, all that. But big thing is when you go to finance an RV, that dealer is getting a kickback. It depends on, again, how much you're financing. It depends on the bank. There's a lot of different factors as to how much that is. But one thing we tell people is if we're getting a better deal, so should you. Okay, we don't need to make all of our profit on one or two customers. We want to spread that out over everybody. That's why we do a lot of volume. Okay, but that's a real good customer-friendly way of doing business. Understand, again, you go into that dealer, negotiate that deal. Talk to them about, what can I get off of this, or how can I get this, or is it a fair price? Make sure you're comparing apples to apples, not apples and oranges. And then ultimately, maybe hold that back to the end to where that if you're financing, they don't need to necessarily know that right up front. If they're a good dealer, they'll go ahead and give you that option up front and say, listen, you finance through us, we're going to give you a little something. Now, whether that's $2 or $2,000 or whatever it is, as long as it's a good deal and you're getting something for it, I would definitely finance through the dealership. Obviously, let's take into consideration what rate are they getting you, things like that. But they are getting some money when you finance through them. So just keep that in mind when you guys are out there shopping.
Tim, can't hear you.
Sorry.
There you go.
There you are.
Dallas, so you weren't just talking about a couple $100 that the bank is giving the dealership, but we're talking sometimes thousands. So you definitely want to be able to ask for that, and that's whether that's auto, RVs. So yeah, I hadn't heard that until he explained that to me a few months back. So thanks for sharing that, Dallas. And you guys have anything to add to that? I know there was one question. Actually, I'm going to go back to Dallas because there was a question about what if you want to pay cash? And I know some people that's important to them. So let me go back, see if we can get back to him. Dallas. There you go.
Yeah, we get that question a lot. The customers say, hey, I've been working a long time.
Yeah, we get that question a lot. The customers say, hey, I've been working a long time. I saved up all this money.
It feels good to be able to do that. But you got to be smart about it too. So one thing
it feels good to be able to do that.
Cash is king. It really is. It still is.
So one thing
you got to use your cash wisely.
Cash is king. It really is.
We tell people is you're getting a kickback from the bank. So we're getting you a little bit better deal. That may be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, depending on the unit. It's not chump change at all. That's a considerable amount of money. What we tell people is all you have to do is keep that loan open a year. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and you want to apply a bunch of money towards the principal, you're more than welcome to do that. Get that money working for you. In a just real quick scenario, if your payment's $200 a month. Okay, take that payment, $200, times it by a year, which is 12 months. Okay, that's $2,400. Okay, $2,400. If you were to pay off everything in that scenario on that loan, except for $2,400, that just keeps that loan open a year. Then you're calculating interest on $2,400, maybe not $20,000 or $30,000. Okay, so at that point, you're going to pay a heck of a lot less interest, even during that first year, than what you would normally pay over, say, if you paid the loan off at the end of 1 year, or you kept the loan open longer. Again, you always also want to look at how is your money working for you in other areas. Again, I say this all the time. I'm not a financial analyst, but I will tell you I know dollars and cents. So take and make sure your money's not working for you in other areas. You're pulling it out. Last thing I always tell people is, if you can help it, don't throw your money into a depreciating asset. Keep the money working for you in other areas, if at all possible. But if you absolutely have to pay cash for it, the way to do it is pay the loan down quick, keep the loan open a year, pay it off at the end of 1 year. You'll calculate the least amount of interest doing it that way, as opposed to just paying it all off at the end of 1 year, or keeping that loan open for a longer period of time.
Going to take a couple questions. That was good, Dallas, a way to do that and still be able to get the discount, but not have to pay much in interest. So the $300 in interest, that's good. So Fab asked where we're located. So RV Wholesalers, since you asked, is in Central Ohio, not too far from Columbus, a little bit northwest of Columbus, Ohio. But the funny thing is, these guys have been selling RVs this year all over the country, actually the world, but all 50 states have been hit this year, right, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hawaii, Alaska, several to Alaska. So you probably sell more outside of Ohio than in Ohio altogether, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's some special things. I saw a few people from Ohio that we can do to help folks in Ohio, but if you stick with me to the very end, I have a little special offer to help if you're interested in that. But let's get back into some more things. Dustin, you want to answer Ernie's question, or Solomon? He looks like he's got a truck, a Ram 1500 4x4.
Yeah. I think I put something in the chat to him, but it just depends on what he's looking for. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't want to have to take his truck, he wants to just be able to get up and go. Class C is great for that. However, with this truck, I mean, there are still a lot of options that he has. I know we have a number of different light trailer lines. The Wildwood have a really nice one. Same with a few others. The Puma has like an X Light. So
with GeoPro,
the GeoPros are great. So anything like that, they're going to be really low weight, good with a half-ton style truck.
And too, when you're on a campground, to be able to unhook and run into town without disconnecting your sewer hose or whatever, like all that.
Exactly.
One thing I would recommend too is give us a call and let us help figure out what your max tow is. We're responsible for making sure that your truck can pull the trailer when it leaves here. We won't let you leave here with an RV that is too much for your truck. And I would really firmly recommend let us figure that for you, because if you go and buy a brand new truck, what we're finding is that they're overestimating the max towing capacity. What that means is, can you pull it? Yes. Should you pull it all the time? Probably not. So there is a difference between can you pull it and should you pull it all the time. And again, if you're going down the road to your local state park once a year, yeah, we'll go right to the max towing capacity. If you're making multiple cross-country trips, let's shoot under and make sure the wear on your truck is accurate and a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of times when they give you that number for the max tow, that's going to be flat ground, perfect conditions, like not very often. So if you're loading up your travel trailer with all your camping goodies, you've got a grill, you've got all your food in there, everything else that you want, coolers of refreshing drinks.
Yes.
Then you are you might be pushing it depending on what they're telling you for the max weight. So yeah, just give us a call. We'll figure that out. We, like Dustin was saying, we got you covered on that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, Dallas, if you can hear me, hopefully, we're gonna have you talk about the one of the, well, I guess it's the third big buying mistake of not really understanding the terms, like for financing, and about risking your house and different things. So can you share a little bit about that? Dallas?
Hey guys, Dallas Henry here. Going to talk to you guys today a little bit about financing an RV, a couple of the tips, tricks, things you might need to know.
Hey guys, Dallas Henry here. Going to talk to you guys today.
Is when it comes to RVs is term. Term with recreational vehicles can be a lot longer than what most people are used to, especially financing cars and things like that. One big thing to remember is generally they'll go out to sometimes 20 years. I know it seems crazy to some people, but it's quite a long time. They want to make that payment really manageable. Now with recreational vehicles, if you have pretty good credit, longer term often means better rate, which is kind of flips everything on its head of whatever everybody really knows. Again, when it comes to cars and mortgages and things like that, because generally with those type of items, the shorter term generally means better rate. Okay, with RVs, remember, that's not always the case. If you got pretty good credit, normally the longer term, better rate. So that's one big thing to remember when you're going to finance a recreational vehicle. So keep that in mind as you go. Again, just to recap, longer term, good credit, typically a little bit better rate. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid of that longer term. Even if you want to pay it off a little earlier, that's okay. They are simple interest loans. At least they should be. With all of our lenders, they are simple interest loans. So you can pay the loan off a little bit earlier. Okay, if you guys so choose you want to do it. And you can apply more money to principal. That'll have you paying at least a lot less interest over the term of that loan, whatever the term you decide it is. Once you lock in a deal with a bank or lock in a deal with a dealer, you can change how fast you pay it off. You can change how much money you throw towards the interest and the principal and things like that. One thing you can't change is the rate. So remember that. You always want to get the best rate, and a lot of times that is longer term. Okay. Another thing to remember is don't ever tie your recreational vehicle loan to your house. A lot of people think, hey, really good rates with my home equity loan. Put a lot of work into this house. I want to use that equity. Not a real good, wise idea. I'm not a financial analyst by any stretch of the imagination. But what I will tell you is when the proverbial hits the fan, and things happen. As so many people know in 2020, there's a lot of things that have happened this year that no one expected to happen. One thing that can happen is you can lose your job. You can have time off, things that you might not be getting the money you thought you were getting. So in that situation, the last thing you want to have happen is you not be able to make your RV payment and that be tied to your house, because now if something happens, they're not coming to just get your RV, they're coming to get the house now too. So don't risk your family, don't risk your livelihood, don't risk your finances by doing something like that. It's something to really remember.
Yeah, good point. Thanks. I'm getting this mute thing figured out. Yeah, thanks, Dallas. So we had a few questions there. Thanks, guys, for jumping on those, helping out Mike, figuring out towing capacity. Good job. Another big mistake a lot of times I see made is is kind of not paying attention to how is your RV going to be serviced. And we're going to talk about warranties and all that in just a minute. But before we get to that, a lot of times we have a guest on here, David Durnell. He's one of the founders, and he actually moved his office from the sales department up into the service and warranty department, so he could just be up there. And he's been doing that he's been up there right in the middle of the little bullpen up there for about 2 years, and just so he can have a pulse on what RVs are getting, having issues, how we can make it better to service them and get the service times faster and so forth. And I want to throw to Josh Durnell and see if he's available still. Josh, are you there? Let's see. Come on, Josh.
So I guess people are asking how we're able to take care of you after the sale. So just wanted to kind of explain a couple things that we offer that other dealerships simply don't. It's our proprietary offering, if you will. Long story short, I'm just going to dive right into it. So to properly explain how I'm able to take care of you guys after the sale, I want to explain why we do this real quick, okay? Just so we're all on the same page and you guys understand the value, okay? Because, long story short, if you do buy from a dealer that is out of state or not locally to you, they do have the right to refuse to work on your RV, right? There's no contractual obligation, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second. So what we do a little bit differently, and this all started back, when I was still in diapers, we started selling online. We're one of the first people to do that, and again, to make a long story short, we started selling out of state. Now, when all this started, when my father and uncle were putting themselves through college, stuff like that, it was all about being able to, people would come up to them because we lived in a campground, actually, we owned one. People would come up to them and they said, hey, Mike, hey, Dave, can you guys, install this air conditioner? I'm getting this crazy price of $1,200 to install this air conditioner. Can you guys help me? Sure, we'll do it for $600. That's how this whole thing started, was taking care of people. So, Going a little bit further now, when we first delivered the first trailer we delivered out of state, we actually went to Colorado. My grandma delivered that, actually, and this conversation came up at the dinner table later on that evening, and basically my grandfather asked my dad and my uncle, how are you going to take care of this guy? You guys are all about service. You guys are, sure, he saved a lot of money, but you're all about service. How are you taking care of that guy in Colorado? That was a heavy weight to think about, and if and when this gentleman did call, what's he going to bring it back? Is he, is he stuck on his own? So this was all the seed, if you will, of the nationwide service network, and we're going to get into that right now. So, and first and foremost, everything that I'm going to explain to you guys is not an additional penny to the purchase. Okay, this is something that we give to all of our customers because we feel that if you do the same things as other dealerships, you're not gonna excel past them. We want to be the best that we can be in the RV industry. So again, what we do is we have the ability with our nationwide service network to take care of our customers anywhere that they live, camp, or travel. So whether you are in your own backyard, whether you are several states away from home, all you have to do is you call us and you tell us where you are and what the issue is. Those two things will determine who I can get you to or who I can get to you. Now, there's many parts of this, okay? So try to keep it as simple as I can. When you are traveling, okay, even if it comes down to hitting a pothole and bending a rim or something like that, seriously, you can give us a call. We can at least find you a service center to take it to or someone to help you out with it. Now, again, nationwide service. We have, I think currently 2,918 service centers. Now that ranges from the United States, that goes into Canada, parts of it that we do a lot of business with. So it doesn't matter. So you never have to bring it back here, is where I'm getting at. Now, a kicker to that, the cherry on top, is that while your RV is still under manufacturer warranty, we pay the bill. That's called RVW bill pay. Okay, so and because we know how hard it is to get taken care of after the sale from someone you didn't buy it from, and I'm going to get back to that in just a second. But two, if you have to pay the bill, again, to make a scenario, you're from Texas, you buy it from Ohio, you're not coming back up here to let me work on it. So you take it locally, you find a guy. Normally, another dealership would require you to pay for that, but we're going to pay for that for you. We're going to get our money back a lot quicker than what you will. So we just want to keep you happy, keep you camping, and try to keep the RV from being out of your driveway any more than it has to, because that's a day that you're not going to have to get back, of course. So now, again, so that's Nationwide Service Network, RVW Bill Pay. Guys, the reason that we do these two things that no one else does is because of the process. We've noticed these holes in the manufacturer's warranty. We see these issues happening. The national average last year for an RV sitting on a dealer's lot waiting to get serviced was 13 weeks. That's almost your entire season for some of us Midwesterns or other people that are have to deal with snow. God, so long story short. But the reason that we do this is there's no contractual obligation. Okay, RVs are not like cars. We don't have an AutoZone, an O'Reilly's, a Napa auto store. We don't have that for RVs. we have to get our parts from the manufacturer. So just because you did buy it from me and your local guy has, sells the same products, he does not have to work on it. He has the right to refuse that. That's why we've done what we do. Your local guy, just because he wouldn't charge you $10,000 or didn't have the opportunity to charge you $10,000 more for the same trailer, now he won't work on it. That's fine. We won't use him. I promise you, we will have other people in your area that will be able to get you in, get you out, and again, we pay the bill. Like in all of this, not an additional penny. It's just something that we offer. We want to be better than our competitors. So, with that said, guys, hopefully I've explained it well enough. Again, there's still other parts to it. So please, if you have any questions, give us a call. I'd love the opportunity to help you out. I'm sure that we have videos and stuff on our website and YouTube. So just check it out and let us know if we can do anything to help. But thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's the thing, Josh, with when you're out camping, you're not camping right next to your local dealership anyways. So it's like when your RV breaks down, you're at least 4 hours, 5, 10, 20, you're far away. So I think it's really cool what your family came up with to be able to create that network so that people can actually go to your campground, fix your RV, and you're not waiting for weeks sitting. So very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. So Solomon, we have a virtual RV show coming up.
Yes.
I think we have about 25 RVs that we're going to be doing walkthroughs. You want to tell them a little bit about that? And then I got a video. We'll show a little video real quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the virtual RV show. So we kind of pioneered that. And for this one, it's going to be all Halloween themed. Not only are we doing walkthroughs of 25 different RVs from small travel trailers all the way up to massive fifth wheels and Class A's, Class C's, motorhomes.
Everything too is something that's a stock unit. So if you see it that day, they're running a big sale that day too. So if you see it that day, that's actually something that's in stock, and we should probably talk about that. There's a big shortage going on.
Yeah, definitely. Of the almost 500 to 600 units we have on the lot, we only have only 51 of those aren't spoken for. So things are flying right now. And then we're seeing increasing lead times to build all of the trailers. So anywhere from 6 weeks on the low end up to, I think there's one from, was it a Wildwood or the
Rockwood? I talked to the guy.
Yeah.
He said 46 weeks, but that doesn't mean if you ordered from RV Wholesalers that you have to wait that long, because they're in the queue. Yeah. They pre-ordered a whole stack of RVs, so those are all coming a lot faster. But yeah, it's definitely if you're thinking about next spring or you definitely want to get a move on it, or if you need something for January to go to Florida, now is the time. So
definitely, yeah, we're expecting price increases in end of December, early January from the factories, just because of how high the demand is and how low they're getting on the parts.
And that's the thing to watch too, because when you're at some of these dealerships, some are taking advantage of the price gouging kind of thing. So just be very careful. When I was last week at the manufacturer reps were telling me, and I heard it twice from two different manufacturers, like that a lot of dealers are just charging a lot more because they can right now. So be really careful. And if you want to compare, even if it's a different brand that you really need, and you want us to kind of show you what that same floor plan can look like, reach out to these guys and they can tell you what price it should be, so you're at least getting in the ballpark so you don't get ripped off. So
definitely, yeah, we're seeing a lot of dealerships put in little clauses of, after the deposit's already in and you guys have your final price, of that they might increase it 3 to 5% based on if the factory jumps up the price. We've seen that a few times from couple different dealerships. So you just got to look out for that, because they'll try to pass that cost onto you. Sometimes RV Wholesalers, when we give you your final price, that's the final price. If they increase it on us, we take the hit. So, and then I saw a few different questions for the Beth, you asked about the manufacturing. So we do not manufacture them, but we do have special deals with the manufacturers. And like Tim was saying, we put in a lot of orders for the most popular trailers. So that way we have priority on those. So we can oftentimes get them a few weeks or even months on like some of those trailers we were talking about faster because we already have some of them on order. It's just specific packages they can make changes to later on. So Patty, it looks like for the travel trailer. So yes, it is extra for delivery, but we'll deliver it to your door. And then you can include that in the financing. And then also depending on your state, you can include the tax in your financing. Even if the state doesn't require it, we can add that to your financing and then just cut you a check for that when you get here. That way it's all through the financing. You're not surprised by an extra 5, 6, 7% once you go to register your vehicle in your state.
I'm going to play this little video on the virtual RV show, and then we'll give you a link so you can get signed up for that. Because there's a lot of giveaways we do. We have all kinds of fun things for you if you can make it. And then, but right after that, we're going to dive into extended service contracts, which people think of them as warranties. It's a little different than a warranty because a warranty is from the factory. But we're going to dive into that so you know what ones are. Did you even have one? That's the big question. We'll talk about that. The big question is, I know when I was growing up, like my dad taught me, it's like, don't waste your money on the extra service contract. You know, you're checking out at the big box store, and they ask if you want to pay an extra $20 to add to that. And I was always taught not to do that, but it's a little different when it comes to RVs. So I wanted to go to Kelly. Kelly helped folks kind of navigate this area, and so I wanted you guys to hear his thoughts on this and why it's important. And there's two different types, so I want to make sure if it is something that you feel is important to protect your investment, then I want to make sure you get the right kind of service contract. So Kelly, let's can you share with us your thoughts on that?
Yeah, appreciate you having me. So just one thing I just wanted to mention here. I think it's a great idea to get a service contract on a travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, any type of RV purchase. I think it's really good as long as you're getting the right kind of service contract. I know a lot of times people want budget, which is always good. I mean, obviously you want to save as much money as you possibly can. But typically if something is a lot less money, it's probably a stated coverage. So there's two types of service contracts out there. There's stated coverage and exclusionary coverage. So you always want to make sure you get the exclusionary coverage because that's going to be the coverage that's going to pay your bills. I mean, that's the coverage that's going to, hey, when your water heater fails, it's going to make sure that you're taken care of. And that's, at the end of the day, that's why people buy service contracts. So even if another coverage is $500, $1,000 less, well, it's probably stated coverage, which what that really means is stated coverage is only going to cover stated components, stated pieces and parts on, say, an air conditioner, a refrigerator, or a water heater. So if only a stated part is covered, typically what that's going to mean is it's not the part that's probably going to break. So that's how they're able to, because basically all it's doing is it's putting some loopholes in there to where the service contract company can get out of paying some claim because, well, I'm sorry that fan motor failed because something else happened, or this isn't one of the covered components. So just make sure you get exclusionary coverage, even if it's a little more money, because at the end of the day, again, you're buying a service contract for what? So it pays the bills. It's going to give you peace of mind that if you have any issues, and again, a camper, travel trailer, motorhome is a house on wheels, right? So there's vibrating, there's jarring, there's things like that. And not to mention, it's not like an automobile where you're getting a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, 560 drivetrain, powertrain. I mean, you're typically going to get a 12-month limited on most of those components. So this is going to make sure that you're taken care of. Also, again, all these components are typically, I shouldn't say all, most of the components on a camper are made to be replaced, not repaired. So if that AC quits on your camper, 9 times out of 10, the dealership, service center, mobile technician, they're going to pull it off and put a new one on. They're not going to send someone up there with a wrench and work on it. So that does, on exclusionary coverages, most of the time, it's going to cover full replacement of those parts as well. So definitely think it's a very good idea. Definitely make sure it gives you peace of mind, especially the last thing you want to be is out camping, then you're shelling out extra money for a new air conditioner, refrigerator, water heater. So I would definitely recommend a service contract on a camper. And again, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and we kind of see the repair bills and the things that have been covered in thousands of dollars a month. So, I mean, I definitely think it's a great idea. Thanks for tuning in, though.
Yeah, what he was saying too was, in fact, you can't see this, but I just asked our Drew Green, he's our director of insurance. I asked him if he could pull me a report from last month. So this is actually 2020. It was actually August month, but this is a report of every claim that came through just in that 1 month that needed service that was covered by the service contract. So just looking down through here, there's all these different things: AC and ventilation, refrigeration, $2,487.78. AC and ventilation, $1,298.70. Audio and video, $205. I mean, just all these little claims that came through that were covered by this. So a lot of grateful people that they had the coverage. So it's not just something that isn't being utilized. So so it's definitely worth thinking about that. Well, we are, let's check the last little bit of questions. I've got a special little gift for you guys staying on, and I'll mention that in a second. Let's just make sure if there's any questions you guys see that we need to answer. Wish we could get to all of them. I'm going to put up the contact information for Dustin and Solomon here, so we can reach out to them. Let's see here. Yeah, so here's the main number. Their extensions are there, their emails. And
so I see a question there: advantages, disadvantages of front bedroom on a travel trailer. Typically, when you're looking at travel trailers, it's going to be mostly about how and where the weight is in the travel trailer. But the goal is everything being distributed evenly to start with. In that case, mostly if you're looking at a front bedroom, it's more about what your preference is. There's not really going to be a space or size advantage or disadvantage. Where you're going to get the most space is any place you have a slide. So we have front bedrooms that are slide outs. We have rear bedrooms that are slide outs. And making a bedroom and a smaller travel trailer feel spacious when you have a queen bed in that much space. The slide out really is a nice feature to have for that bedroom. I would say one thing that's really important when you're looking at floor plans is imagine yourself in the space and then look at the floor plan and see where the heaviest things are, right? Poorly designed RVs, which I can't pinpoint any off the top of my head. Most people are well aware of this at this point, but we'll have things like kitchens counterbalancing a slide, or your living room entertainment center counterbalancing a slide. You want weight opposite of your slide out because that throws off the weight distribution of your travel trailer. Good question, but really I think it's mostly about preference on where you want your bedroom at. try to think about things like floor plan, where people are going to be coming in and out. Do you want them marching through the hallway next to your bedroom, or would you prefer it was further away, maybe at the back with the bathroom? Things like that should be how you look at you're going to use the RV. That will answer your question on what the floor plan should look like for you.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. I see Gary had a question about how long should the warranty be purchased for. I know that's the nice thing too is these transfer. So when you say you trade in or go and sell your coach or motorhome or travel trailer outright, it will transfer with it. So that's a nice thing. It gives a lot of added value, especially figure out the term that's comfortable with your plans as far as how long you think you'll have it. But every year, you're more likely to, just like us, when we get older, our life insurance goes up, but the price doesn't go up, but you lock in that price, and that's the beauty of it. But if you get an 8-year term or whatever, just kind of figure out how long you think you'll be in that travel trailer. If you guys want to add to that.
Typically we recommend the 5-year, which will be the full coverage for 5 years. And that'll cover tire puncture. That'll cover a lot of like rips and tears, things that might not be covered otherwise. If you get the 5-year full coverage plan, that's typically what we recommend.
Yeah, that's good. So since you guys have waited so long and learned so much, and we got through all 5 of our buying mistakes, the last one, being buying a service contract that doesn't pay the bills. And just as a reminder, stated is bad. So if it's a stated plan, that usually has a lot of holes. It only has a few things that are stated that are covered. Exclusionary is good. So ask for exclusionary when you go to work with your dealership or with us, and that will keep you out of trouble down the road. So, and keep you camping. I mean, that's the whole goal, is to be able to enjoy family and great outdoors and all the things that go with camping and sitting around the campfire. Why don't you, if you guys don't mind taking a second, go into chat and just tell us what your reason for wanting to get into an RV. Is it to go out west? Is it just family fun, campgrounds, all that kind of stuff? That'll be fun to see. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to put in a little comment here. It says, thank you for staying for the end. First 4 people that email me, here's my email address with the subject 500. If you're interested in buying an RV from the folks at RV Wholesalers and place a deposit today on an RV, we'll get you a $500 credit that will go towards delivery anywhere in the U.S. So that's just something, obviously, only some of you probably need something like that, but we would love to help you out with that. So the first people to do that, or if you want to email Dustin or Solomon, they'll all be involved in counting up these folks that put that into the email. And that's a way we can help you out with delivery. And that's a nice thing. You guys deliver right to people's driveways everywhere. And we can make it as touchless. We even have a seal, a COVID-19 seal, and a coating that goes in before they seal up the doors, and to make sure everything's clean and protected. And so they've been doing deliveries like this for way before it became popular. So it's been about 18 years at least they've been delivering to people's homes and driveways. So very cool. Well, we're going to stay in chat for a few more minutes. So if you have some more questions, we'll keep monitoring that. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hopefully you learned a lot of things. And our goal to make sure that you don't make some big mistakes, but have learned from other people's mistakes today and make some wise decisions. Thanks, Solomon and Dustin, for helping us equip these people in Dallas. Thank you. And Kelly and Josh, appreciate your time today. I know you guys are busy in the sales room there and so forth, but appreciate you all. And take care, everybody. Yep. Bye.